Hi everyone, have you ever wondered why newsletters or your HTML emails look different in different email clients? Like, for instance, Gmail, Yahoo, or Outlook, or even Apple Mail may show them different. So, why is this case? So, today we're going to talk about this. So, let's dive in. So, first of all, maybe you also experienced that. So, you got a newsletter and from some email, right? And you open in your, let's say, Gmail, and maybe in your mobile phone it looked perfect, but then you go to your office, and let's assume that you just also have Outlook there connected to your Gmail account, and when you look at the Outlook you just saw that, oh, okay, so this is just broken. So why is this case? So the reason why these newsletters, these HTML emails actually look different from different kind of email service providers or email clients is because they use different kind of rendering mechanisms to render the emails actually. So what does that mean? So is basically, actually, you can think of it like browsers. So you have like Chrome browser, you have Mozilla, you have like Windows Edge or something, Internet Explorer, that sort of browser, right? Or Opera. So those browsers also, maybe you also experienced that, may show websites differently, right? So you can just look at a website in your Google Chrome, and it may just work perfect, but then you just switch to Internet Explorer and you see that it just doesn't look the same, or Safari or something like that. So same thing with email clients too, because they use different kind of software behind to render those HTML emails. So maybe I can just go a little bit, I will mention a little bit in the technical things here, but you don't need to worry about. But let's dive in a little bit technicality. So for instance, Gmail uses WebKit. So WebKit, the same engine as Chrome. So if you just open your emails in your Gmail, then the chances are the HTMLs actually look pretty close to the browser. So they'll be there. So because Gmail tries to render those HTML emails just like web pages are rendered in a browser. So that's the Gmail. So when it comes to Yahoo email, so Yahoo uses Gecko-based engine. This is similar to Firefox, and they have decent support for modern web standards. So again, with Yahoo, your emails will be fine. But what happens when you come to Outlook? So there you go. So you have some problem with Outlook, because Outlook uses Microsoft Word's rendering engine. Yes, you hear right. Microsoft Word's rendering engine for HTML emails. And this is in newer versions, which is much more limited and can handle CSS poorly. So that's why Outlook will just give you a lot of headache if you want to open your emails there. Or if you're just sending emails, if you're just like creating emails, newsletters, for instance, yes, the Outlook version of those will look different. And here's the thing. So maybe some of your recipients may use Outlook desktop version, and some of them may use Outlook like web version. This will again look differently, especially if your clients, if your recipients actually use old version of Outlook. The chances are your newsletters, your just good, designed newsletters will not be as good as they seem in your own HTML editor. And unfortunately, email technology and email rendering are dependent. We are dependent on those, email clients. So if they just want to renew themselves, like if they just want to go and like as we have in like modern browsers, right? So we can even just like we have HTML5 technology in modern browsers and everything, new kind of capabilities just coming up for new browsers. But we cannot say the same thing with email kind of clients. You can think of, like as I said, Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook as browsers, but this time not for kind of web rendering, but this time is for like email rendering. You can just think of it like that. So rendering engine. So one of the reasons why we see different things is because technically they use different rendering engines. And the second thing is why we see them differently in different email clients is because the difference between CSS support and their limitations. So Gmail and Yahoo generally support modern CSS properties, but Outlook again just has limited CSS support, and especially for advanced properties like floats, background images, media queries, and positioning. So you will have a lot of headache to just adjust your email. If you have a lot of Outlook users, I wish you would like. Unfortunately, you will have a lot of trouble with that. And so CSS support is limited in Outlook, whereas in Gmail and Yahoo, they're good, not bad. Gmail is the most maybe supported, gives the most support for CSS, I would say. So the other reason is if you embed some styling to your newsletters, again, some clients may strip this style tag, and especially if they are not inline. So this time again, you have like different styling and different like issues with your email. Another problem may occur because of media queries. So media queries are, especially if you want to just make your newsletters and your like HTML emails to be responsive, you just put some media queries. So media queries is basically when you just resize your window, your like if it is gonna be viewed in your like, mobile devices or in your maybe iPad or like or if you're gonna use it, look at in your desktop, then these media queries actually make sure that your content is adjusted according to the size of the screen. But again, Outlook does not support media queries, while Gmail and Yahoo do. So again, this impacts the responsiveness of your emails, unfortunately. The other reason why they look different, why your emails may look different, is because image and font handling. So image display, so because of the security reasons, clients like Gmail actually may block some of the images until the user explicitly allows them. Again, this can just alter the email's appearance, and again, it may have some bad effect on your emails. Outlook sometimes struggles with background images and has strict rules for alt text and image rendering. Again, Outlook just maybe lags behind this when you compare to Gmail and Yahoo. When it comes to custom fonts, so not all email clients support custom web fonts. So if they don't support like custom web fonts, they typically use their own kind of default fonts. So it's better not to use a lot of different fonts in your emails, but rather more common ones, so that you don't end up being in the default custom font that those email clients use. So you may have more control. Just make sure that don't play too much with these kind of fonts. It will not be as it seems in your browser. Email clients will be different. So make sure that you know this. The other one is I would say HTML tag support. So tables, for instance, HTML emails often use tables for layout due to better cross-client support. However, each email client may handle table rendering differently. Of course, so you know who has the most problem. Yes, Outlook. Outlook often has issues with table padding and spaces. So another reason, rendering of margins and padding. Again, this can have different effects on different email clients. So you should make sure that they all look similar, or at least like kind of decent. So what you need to do, you need to test them, right? You need to send an email. So just get an Outlook, get a Yahoo email, get a Gmail and Apple Mail actually, and send them real time. You see in your eyes really how they look, and then you adjust them accordingly before sending to many people. So that's the one of the things that you should consider actually. And security and privacy settings, again, another reason why the emails may look different. Gmail and Yahoo often sanitize certain HTML and CSS properties to protect users from phishing attacks and malicious code. So that means that this can sometimes your email design can also be stripped away from some of the text that may just look good while you're design, but again, when it comes to the email client, they may just remove them. So make sure that this doesn't happen. How you should do? You should again send a kind of a test emails these 4 of your accounts that first I mentioned. You gotta have Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo, and Apple Mail account, or maybe Hotmail account too, so that you send some emails and you see how it looks. You can of course use some test tools, but what I found that it's always better idea to just see real one in your eyes, so that you just have more trust about your email design, everything looks good or not. So what else? So responsive design issues again. Many email clients, especially older versions of Outlook again, do not support responsive designs, so media queries, flex boxes, meaning that emails that rely on these techniques might not adjust properly to different screen sizes. So make sure that, again, in Outlook, again, you should make sure that this is done correctly. So in conclusion, what you need to do. So before coming to the conclusion, I would say that, okay, so what advice can I give you guys to make sure that you have kind of a good coverage of your newsletter or HTML emails about your contacts? So what I will say is actually this. So just Gmail, the percentage of Gmail usage in the United States is around 60%. So 60% of people use Gmail as a kind of their email client. So that's a good thing. The Yahoo has 15 to 20%. So in total, it makes 80%, right? So if you just concentrate on Gmail and Yahoo, so you cover 80% of your contacts kind of email clientele. So I mean, you should make sure that for those two email clients, actually your emails look good. And when it comes to Outlook, unfortunately, again, 15% or maybe up to 20% again uses Outlook. So of course, Outlook will be also an important thing. And the other percentage may be 5% or 10, between 10% and 5% between 10% may use Apple email or the other email clients. So actually, the 3 most important ones, of course, one of them is Gmail, the other one is Yahoo, and the other one is Outlook. But Outlook will give you a headache, so make sure that at least you have good looking emails with your Gmail and Yahoo. So I can just say that. And after having said that, so how you should just make sure that you have a good kind of HTML design and a good newsletter is, so you need to use tables instead of modern CSS. Don't use modern CSS, so use tables. So tools like Mailsoftly and other email editors actually use mainly, of course, table, because unfortunately email clients just understand that. I mean, they can render it better. They have very difficulty in rendering the CSS, especially as I say, Outlook. So you should just give inline styles. Make sure that you give inline styles. Again, email editors just like Mailsoftly and other email editors just will have just help you in doing that. But again, don't use linked style sheets, but instead give more inline styles. So you need to have fallbacks, which means that if unsupported fonts, images, or CSS properties exist, you need to make sure that you have kind of a fallback. So, and here my advice would be actually don't just play much about these fonts and everything. Just stick into the most common ones, so that you don't have any trouble with those email clients. And the last thing is actually, as I said, just create a kind of email accounts with those 3 or 4 most common email clients. And before sending to your audiences, thousands of people, make sure that your newsletters look good in your email clients, and also with different screen sizes too. Look at from your phone, look at from your web, look at it from your desktop, and maybe tablet if you have. So make sure that these all look good before sending out. Of course, you can use other kind of software testing tools, but as I said, I mostly suggest that you use the real world one. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like our video, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you in our next video.